So hi everyone, welcome to my channel DecodeWithPriyo. Today I'm going to solve the LeetCode number 1963. The problem name is minimum number of swaps to make the string balance. Although it's marked medium, but it's an easy problem. So first let's understand what the problem is. The problem is said that you have a string, the number of the string, the size of the string is n, and you have n by 2 open brackets and n by 2 closing brackets. Your task is to swap those opening and close brackets such a way that it's complete the sentence. Okay, let's understand the problem. The problem said that you have a zero index string, even length, and the string consists exactly n by 2 opening bracket and n by 2 closing bracket. It means that you will have a string. Suppose that it's a string which you have exactly even number of size. It should be even number of size. Okay, and here you have n by 2 opening brackets. N by 2 means if the size is here 4, then 4 by 2, 2 will be opening brackets and 2 will be closing brackets. Okay, so here 2 is opening brackets and 2 is closing brackets. Your task is to swap those opening and closing brackets if needed the minimum number of way such that all the bracket will be balanced. Means suppose that you have a string like this. Now you can clearly see these two are already balanced, but these four are not balanced. So if we swap these two, this and this, let's see, if we swap this, then the string will be like this. Now you can see these both brackets become balanced. So for what number of swaps you need? You need one swap. Understand? Let's deep dive into some examples so that you can clearly understand that. Here is a one string. You can see that these strings are already balanced, so you don't have to think any about this. This you can swap these two strings. So if you swap this string, then the string will be like this. Sorry for that. You can understand this whole string are now balanced. And here you can clearly see that if you swap these two, then what will be the string? If you swap this, then the string will be like, sorry, this will not be there here. And now you can clearly see that these two become balanced. Now at the last you have to swap these two. So how will be the string right? How will be the string like now? Like now this will be. Here you can see the whole string is now balanced. So how many swaps need for to balance this string? You need 2 swaps. Clear? Okay. Then let's say deep dive to the approach. Approach is very simple. Very simple. What you have to do, just listen. If you have a string like this now, which is already balanced, then you don't have to think about this, right? If a particular bracket is balanced, then we can slightly remove that from the string. And how can I remove that brackets? Is simply using stack. Let's see how we can do this. Suppose that here is your string. Okay, and we just going to traverse the string. We are going to traverse the string and we can simply put it to the stack. Here is our stack and we're gonna traverse the whole string. The first we're gonna check that does our string of I is a closing bracket. If it is a closing bracket, then we can check that does our s.top, or maybe if I just said the name is st, then st.top is a opening bracket. If it is a opening bracket and s of I is a closing bracket, then we can slightly remove that or pop that. Okay, and if our s.top is not an opening bracket, then we can simply push that. Here you can see that we are fetching the s.top, and in the previous video I said that whenever you going to fetch s.top, then make sure you check s.top is empty or not. Okay, here is s.t is empty, so we just slightly push the first bracket into the stack. So we just push that into the stack. Second, we're gonna check that is it a closing bracket? No, then simply push that. Now we're gonna check Is it a closing bracket? Yeah, it is a closing bracket. And what is in the top? Top is a opening bracket. Then just slightly remove that. So I'm gonna remove that. Okay, now our iterator is going to point in this particular bracket. And is it a closing bracket? No, then simply push that. Now I'm gonna go to the next bracket. Is it a closing bracket? Yes. St.top is opening bracket? Yes. Then simply pop that. Now I'm gonna check that the last things. Last is what? Last is a opening bracket. Just simply push that. So here you can see that in the stack is only two elements, which is one is your closing bracket and then you have opening bracket. Now what is the things? Using stack we just simply remove all the balanced string. Okay, now our task is very simple. Suppose that you have a string where all the balanced string are removed. Then what is remaining string? Remaining string will be like this. No matter what the string is, if you remove all the balanced string, your string should be like this. First you all have the closing brackets, then you have opening brackets. You can try run that. You will never be opening bracket first and closing bracket last. Okay, understand? Now here you can see that if your string is like this, then what you have to do? You just need to swap. Now the question is, how many swaps are needed to particularly make the whole string balanced? You can say that if I just slightly swap these two values, then these both string will be balanced. And if we swap these two values, then this and this both string will be balanced. If we just swap these two values, then the string will be like this, right? And you have remaining how many strings? You have remaining like this. And now you need to swap the outermost bracket. So you will have get these types of string, which is perfectly balanced. So how many swaps I need? 2. Clear? Previous question, here you can see that here only you need 1 swap, right? If I take more example, like suppose you have three bracket, and if you just swap these two brackets, then you have like 1, 2 and 3. Now you at the last you have to swap these two, then what will be the string like this. Now the question is, how many swaps is needed? Here is 2. So if you observe the pattern, you can simply think that there is a simple pattern, and the pattern is that number of opening or closing bracket plus 1 and whole divided by 2 is the number of swap needed. Do you want to see? Let's see. In the first example here, how many closing or opening bracket? 1. So we just plus with 1 and divided by 2. What is the answer? 1 swap needed. Let's check to the here, how many closing or opening bracket? 4. 4 plus 1 divided by 2, which means 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5. If I just round about, it will be 2. Is it 2? Yes. And the third example, if I check how many closing or opening bracket? 3. If I just plus 1 and divided by 2, it will be answer 2. I hope you got the answer. How you have to do this? Now you have all the things. First, you have to remove all the balanced string using stack. And second, what you'll have to do? You have to count opening or closing bracket. Then you have to plus 1 with that and divide it by. And you have to count. And second, you have to check how many opening or closing bracket are there. And you have to add 1 and divide it by 2 and simply return that. So these are the steps. I'm gonna write that. The first things. Okay, the first things here is also one thing, that if the string is empty, does it need any swapping? No. So the first case we're gonna take that if st.size equal to 0, then we just simply return 0. Okay. Second things, I'm gonna create a stack, okay, which all the things will be character definitely. Third things, I'm gonna push and remove the balance string. We gonna push and remove balance string. Now here is a probability that maybe my stack is empty or maybe not. If all the brackets are balanced, then there is no need to swap. So in the fourth sentence, I'm gonna check that if st.empty is true, then we just simply return 0. Okay, and if not, then I'm gonna just simply make it as a string, and we just simply, and if not, we just simply push all the brackets into a string, and then we're gonna count how many opening or closing bracket are there, and then simply 1 and divided by 2 and return that. Okay, so this is our whole task. The code is very simple. Let's deep dive to the code and understand that. Okay, here is our LeetCode. Let's solve the problem. So what I'll do, the first things we're gonna check that if age dot length is equal to 0, then it means there is no swap needed. So just simply return 0. Okay. Second things, if not, then you have to create a stack. Name is st, and then after that you have to push all the elements. For loop int I equal to s dot alien gth I plus plus. Okay, now what you'll have to do, you have to check that if st is not empty and if s dot I is a closing bracket and s dot top is a opening bracket. So what if not st dot is not empty and st dot top equal to opening bracket and s dot I is a closing bracket. Okay, then what you'll have to do, you have to just simply do an operation which is called st dot pop. Clear? Is it a simple? Yes, it's a very simple. And if it is not, then what you'll have to do, you have to just simply push st dot push what the current bracket. The current bracket is s dot I. Okay. In this way, if you traverse hold the string, then in the stack there is all the balance string are removed. Then what you'll have to do, you have to just check if st dot empty is true, then return 0. Right? If it is not empty, then how are you gonna check? We just simply count all the variables. I mean all the opening or closing bracket. So I'm gonna check here opening bracket. So while st dot is not empty, जब तक मेरा जो string है वो not empty है, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna simply check if st dot top equal to closing our all the things are opening bracket, because on the top there 100% chance is first we have opening bracket. So if our st dot top is a opening bracket, then count plus plus, and in this way you have to just simply pop that. Okay, simple. And after that you have count is definitely a probability that you have got all the opening or closing brackets number. So just simply return, what you have to return, count plus 1 divided by 2. Make sure that you have to put it is in a bracket, which is a good practice, and there is a semicolon. Let's run it. We should pass all the test cases. Okay, here is a simple mistake. We have to do this st dot top. Let's run it. Perfect. Let's submit this. So here is the question. I hope you understand the questions very well. And here just seeing simple things we're going to check is time and space complexity. So here you can see that when we create a stack, so there definitely a chance that there is no string is balanced. So definitely the size of the stack, I mean time, the space complexity will be O of n if there is no string or balanced. And if I going to check the time complexity, whenever we try to fetch all the elements and put into the stack, it is take O of n. And also when you're gonna check that the counting variable, it's also check 1 of n. So the time complexity is 1 of n plus n, which is O of n. Simple. So this is our time complexity and this is our space complexity. So thank you everyone. Hope you understand the problem. It is a very easy problem, and let's meet tomorrow. Bye bye.